How difficult is it to find housing near bases, and will our basic allowance for housing cover our expenses? Geographically, the way that the island is set and where the bases are on the island, there's housing right near most of the bases that's very much affordable, but it's going to be shrinked in most cases from a mainland perspective. So think townhome and or small condo complexes, walk up what a mainland perspective might view as like an apartment complex, but they're for sale, not just for rent. So immediately outside of base housing, there are very affordable options near Schofield, on Willikina. Maybe you have to, near Shafter, like downtown Honolulu, Chinatown area. To get into specifics might take a little bit too long. To answer the question in a broad sense, the answer is yes, there is affordable housing near base. What type of housing do you need is probably the follow-up question to really answer that deeply. If you're looking for a single family detached home with no HOA near base and needing less than a 15-minute commute, now we're really going to be having a strong conversation about what that looks like. If you're okay with a 45 to an hour drive, if you're coming from LA or San Francisco or a major metropolis where the commute's already a thing and you're okay in the car, then that broadens it out. In short, yes, there are affordable options right near base, but it's going to be smaller properties probably than you're used to. Is BAH going to cover my expenses? I'm going to keep it real here and just say no. The base housing allowance is set, and you generally are going to get an increase in your BAH from wherever you're at, but it's still not quite enough to balance out for cost of living here. If you include your COLA, which is the cost of living allowance, and any dependents and any extra benefits, then you can get groceries and gas into the mortgage payment with some discipline. But just generally speaking, like our mortgage payment, just the mortgage payment is my wife's BAH. Everything that I make goes towards utilities and bills and things like that, right? So unfortunately, no, but it can still work. So it kind of ties back to that first question of how do I make it work for housing and groceries? A little bit of discipline and a little bit of compromise and figuring out ways to do some couponing and eating at home a little bit more often than you eat out.
We've got a questionnaire for you in the description below. Let us know what your questions are. Somebody, Aiden, myself, Kenny, Derek, somebody from Core Team Hawaii is going to get on and answer these questions. We'll make this a series. You can ask up to one question a day. Our team will put our heads together to get that question answered. But if you're like, hey, one question is not going to cut it, you can't put a one question on a day quota on me, go to the website, fill out the contact form. That's when we can get one-on-one with you, get a little bit more explicit and nuanced with your questions that you may have. But if you're ready to participate in these one questions a day, description box below.